Coming up on TechZilla, trick out your thumb drive with Robert's fave portable apps. Where are the jobs in tech anyway? Treats from the MacWorld show floor, adding a TV tuner to your HD TV and the new Blu-ray releases for the week of February 1st, 2011. Grab your favorite church key and crack open a cream soda, because TechZilla starts now. This episode of TechZilla is made possible by Netflix. Go to netflix.com/TechZilla to get a free trial membership. Gamefly. Go to gamefly.com/TechZilla for your free trial membership. And Squarespace. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Robert Heron.
Welcome to TechZilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Hey, whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech, or my most delicious brand of cream soda, we've got an answer for you.
And if we don't, we'll track down somebody who does. Speed news?
Do it!
All right. College students and folks looking to make a career change, you might want to think about cloud computing and mobile apps. Gartner Research predicts mobile app sales will triple from $5.2 billion in 2010 to $15 billion in 2011 to, wait for it, $58 billion a year by 2014. And Intel is dropping $100 million on university research over the next 5 years, funding, quote, a number of Intel science and technology centers. The first such center will be led by Stanford University and focus on next generation visual computing. Intel says the new model will get 5 times more funding from Intel into the hands of researchers.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Hey, Netflix, they have over 20 million subscribers, and hey, apparently they were all cranky about what Engadget called, quote, potential threats from its Hollywood content providers and the ISPs.
Yeah, it's all about like watch instantly. It's really funny. Like, you know, we talked about, you know, HBO recently was like, we won't touch Netflix for streaming until they're charging at least $20 a month. A lot of the studios are trying to figure out a better way to renegotiate to get more money out of Netflix. Netflix obviously wants to maintain their position as the premier. I mean, they basically, one of the things they did in the financial call where they were talking about this, apparently they showed off the first HD TV remote control with a watch instantly button. A Netflix button built in the remote control.
About time.
Netflix is huge. They're making a ton of money in part because they're really underpaying for a huge catalog they get from Stars. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they get through this.
That'd be cool. I just hope they pull through, because I know they want to get away from mailing discs, because that's currently one of their biggest expenses as a company.
Probably.
Streaming video turns out to be very cheap.
Well, that would also explain why they were so willing to do the, like, we won't send out any Blu-rays or DVDs of your new title for 30 days after you release them in exchange for more access to the back catalogs of the studios.
And I appreciate that.
Keep it coming, Netflix.
Yeah.
Speaking of keeping it coming, the tablets are coming. We saw, I don't know, 32,000 Android and Windows 7 tablets at CES. You could not swing a dead cat without hitting a new tablet at CES. So far, it looks like Dell's Streak 7 will hit the street February 2nd. Motorola's Zoom arrives February 17th. BlackBerry's Playbook, HTC's Flyer, and Galaxy's Tab 2 should all be on the street by late March.
Yep. More tablets. And the good folks over at Torrent Freak say Google is, quote, they now actively censor terms, including BitTorrent, Torrent, MicroTorrent, Rapid Share, and Mega Upload from its instant and autocomplete services. I'd be worried, except you still get these full results, or for any of those terms, actually, when you go to the search page where it actually loads the information from the net.
Yeah.
It's just the autocomplete stuff.
I don't really understand why they're bothering to censor that. Hey.
They're making you press another key. And that'll stop probably 50% of the people out there who are, you know, looking for those terms. But
really?
Now, in the not-so-speedy news, it might be a bad call, or maybe basically bad news for carriers, landline or cell. You can now port your number, your cell phone number at least, to a Google Voice account.
Yeah, in a blog post on Tuesday, Google announced that users could now port existing cell phone numbers to Google Voice for $20. Why bother? In the words of Roger Chang, our beloved producer, Google Voice carries a well-received suite of features. Most notably, it allows you to set a call to a particular number to ring at multiple phones. Think of it, just one number that can then be forwarded to another phone number. Plus, if you're one of those individuals who changes providers every year or 6 weeks, you don't have to pay extra to have that number ported to the new service.
That is true, and with the web interface, you can track voicemail and calls quickly and easily. The flip side is really security. If anyone breaches your Google account, all of your info is available, and you're relying on Google to maintain the data privacy, something more than a few people have been worried about. Now, personally, I'm ready to make the switch just as soon as Google Voice supports MMS, the multimedia messaging service system. And until Google buys a cell service provider, I'm still dealing with paying a third party for monthly billing, or just the party that's providing me my cell service. Also, I kind of like having two phone numbers, the one provided with my cell service and the one I get from Google Voice. If I port my number over to Google Voice, I lose my non-Google Voice number.
Right.
And also, although right now I'm unable to dial out as my Google Voice number on my cell phone, unless I do it as data, basically would have to do that through the Google Voice plan if I want to actually have my Google Voice number appear when I'm using it on my cell phone.
It's like a phone with this mobile phone, man.
It's almost there.
It's almost there.
If I didn't still have to pay AT&T, and I could just, well, I'd give my money to Google, I guess.
Roger, the announcement hit the street this morning. Roger's like, oh my God, I think I'm going to port my number over.
It's really MMS, though. I need that. SMS is free already and everywhere, pretty much, but being able to take a picture or a video.
You would be able to send videos to everyone you know from Daytona.
And receive as well. Because occasionally my friends do crazy, weird stuff, and I love to watch it in semi-real time, or within minutes of it happening.
Which is why you never, ever look over Mr. Heron's shoulder where he's staring desperately at his cell phone.
It's exciting.
Hey, in our Best Brand of Bulletproof Thumb Drive segment last week, Mr. Heron promised to share his favorite portable apps this week. Robert?
Yeah. Well, hey, I went and tested my SanDisk Titanium Cruiser after the beating it took last week, and I got to say, it's still functioning just fine. Oh, why do I even bring that up? Basically,
it's tough, people.
It's titanium. I hope.
I don't know if it's titanium, but it's tough.
I just hope all the chips are still. Anyway. What I'm talking about basically is a service called portableapps.com. The folks provide, quote, a fully open source and free platform. It'll work on any portable storage device, be that USB flash drives, iPods, memory cards, portable hard drives, etc. Donations are gladly accepted for this free wonder tool. Portable Apps provides basically 3 Windows-based installer options, ready to customize 2 MB package that's quick, lean, and easy to install, fast to install really, on up to a nearly 400 MB package that provides an assortment of popular applications. Now, the write speed of your flash drive has a significant influence on the installation time. I found an older 2 gig key I have that works really well, but it's apparently quite slow, as it took over an hour to get the 400 MB package on here, and I wanted to just give up. Doing the same install on my SanDisk Cruiser Titanium took only a few minutes. Favorite apps, there are many to choose from, and my choices pretty much mirror what I have on my own computers at home. I gotta say, number 1 would be KeePass. I've been seeing an uptick in hacked email accounts and other online accounts with weak pass. Basically, the weak passwords are the common culprit in this scenario. And this particular portable app will help you generate not only strong passwords, it'll make it easy to manage those crazy complex passwords you come up with. Number 2 on that list would be FileZilla. Be it for uploading files to your website or to a friend's FTP server, FileZilla's clean interface and regular updates keep me coming back. I love it. And for my IM needs, Pigeon. My IM contacts are scattered across many particular IM platforms, and Pigeon connects to them all. And its interface is also free of unwanted distractions and advertisements, something I kind of dig. Chrome would be another one on my list as well. My favorite thing about Google's web browser is that it automatically updates itself. I don't have to get a notification. It just does it, and I want it to do that. Second, my second favorite thing about Chrome is that it can be configured to sync with other Chrome installs that you use. So if I'm using the Chrome install on my USB key, I can then go home and look at my desktop workstation, and oh, you know what? The bookmarks, the skinning, everything's still synced with the other install, and I love that. And if you need a portable PDF reader, why not use one that is compact in size and open source, like Sumatra PDF. I'm done dealing with Adobe bloat and their numerous security issues, and I find, unless you need a specific feature that only Adobe is providing with their PDF reader, I love Sumatra for that.
Sumatra.
And you can't stop at just 5, so you have things like OpenOffice, MicroTorrent, games, a whole laundry list of them. And perhaps the best thing about having your apps on a flash drive is that when you pull the data, or when you pull the drive out and you're done with it, all that data goes with you, including like your bookmarks and your browsing history and other stuff.
So it's an awesome, like if you're thinking like I need a bailout kit with all of the information for the kid's health insurance or mom's phone number or whatever, that's a great way to keep it, because you can also secure your thumb drive and make it impossible to access without entering a password.
Totally.
So
and the interface is pretty easy to use with this software as well. It makes it easy to install and uninstall different applications. You basically have to go to their site to find out what's available. Now, if you're using, I would say, OS X, or you're on the Apple platform side of things, or in Linux world, I'd like to know what you guys are using as far as tools for those platforms as well. There's a few out there. I'm just curious to see what the more popular ones are. Please email us, HDNation or techzilla@revision3.com, and we'd love to hear from you. And I don't know, put USB key option in the subject line of the email.
It still works.
Awesome. That is a pretty tough key. I've had for a while. IT provided. They buy good stuff.
Yay. Coming up, we're going to get our HD Nation on to talk Star Wars on Blu-ray 4K and how to connect your HD TV to cable. Right now, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, GameFly. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service. Gives you a choice of over 7,000 new or classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. It is a cornucopia of gaming goodness for just $15.95 a month. GameFly members can score 1 to 4 games at a time. Keep them for as long as you like. You want to spend 3 years working on Zelda? GameFly is good with that. No late fees, no due dates, and shipping when you finally decide to send Zelda back, always free. Once you're done playing a game, when you send it back, GameFly is going to send you the next available game on your list, and if you really like the game, click Keep It on the GameFly website. The game is yours at a discounted price. GameFly is even going to mail you the case and manuals free of charge. You're a Tekzilla fan, so we got a 15-day free trial for you, but only if you go to gamefly.com/Tekzilla. Please support Tekzilla. Keep the shows coming to you by supporting our sponsors like gamefly.com/Tekzilla. If you haven't calibrated your HDTV or you suspect somebody's been fiddling with the settings on your HDTV or your Blu-ray player, do yourself a favor, calibrate your HDTV today.
Do it.
Well, I was watching Ray, which I'll talk about in a second. And I was like, something's weird. And I happen to have the first of I've got like probably, thanks to you, 7 different Blu-ray calibration discs in my stack of Blu-rays at home. THX one was on the top. And I discovered as I'm going through the settings, like the color was off a little bit here and off a little bit there, not so bad. Color tint set. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm missing a big chunk of the screen because the overscanning was actually on.
Ah,
yeah.
That's a big one.
So once I actually had the full 1080p display on my 1080p screen, imagine that. Things looked better.
It's dramatic.
It was dramatic.
Dramatic.
It was irritatingly
that
dramatic.
little bit, that 5% overscan just suddenly makes every pixel not map properly to a 1080p screen. And that ruins detail.
Yes, it really, and I went back because something had looked funny about a disc I looked at the day before, and I threw that disc in and went, oh.
I'm going to work on a rear projection TV tomorrow at the client's house, and they're having an overscan issue that I really won't be able to correct because you're kind of stuck with overscan on rear projection TVs compared to modern flat panels that let you map everything 1-to-1. And unless I put it into some crazy PC mode and rewire a bunch of stuff, I just would rather have this person buy a new TV.
I have a personal request for every HDTV manufacturer in the world right now, by the way. Please call overscan overscan. Rather than, per pixel maxing, interpolation,
Just.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There shouldn't be like,
HD2.
Yeah, to put overscan in the name of it in there somewhere. I also have a question for you.
Picture size. Gets closer.
I get hit with a couple of emails, not on our regular work account, but a personal account, from a buddy of mine who was like, okay, it seems like 3D is really stupid until we have 4K TVs, and when we have 4K TVs, all the 2D content is going to look so much better than the 3D content. What's your take on 4K and whether it's actually necessary? I think it seems like 4K is necessary for passive 3D, i.e. eyeglasses. No, excuse me. 4K is necessary for eyeglasses-free, glasses-free, goggle-free HD TV if you want the same level of brightness, question mark?
I believe that's right, according to what we saw, although we're talking a few years off. Nobody was showing glasses-free that, in my opinion, looked all that great.
The Toshiba stuff looked like ass.
Sorry, that one company I mentioned a couple weeks ago. But that was also a prototype, too, and I'm happy they at least showed it.
I thought it was cool that they showed it, actually.
It just shows what it can be done. It's just I'm really worried about what would you do when you're watching 2D content on a set like that as well. Right. Can you go back and forth easily? You'll need more resolution the larger size screen you're going to go with, and the higher the quality of the content you're feeding to it, and the closer you sit. You can kind of reverse all that back out and say, you know what, if you sit further away, you probably don't need as detailed of a picture because your eye is physically not close enough to the screen to see all the detail.
If you're watching the ball game in the bar on a TV that's 20 feet away, it doesn't matter if it's 720p or 1080p.
And the quality of the content is key. It's the bigger the screen you end up with, and especially if there are more pixels on there showing you more detail, you're going to notice a big difference between broadcast HD versus something that's been well authored in Blu-ray, which is currently the best consumer format we have. The 4K venues out in commercial cinemas, they have a box of hard drives with an incredible amount of data. You think Blu-rays hold a lot of data. You got to see the data stream. It's like a 200 megabit data stream that feeds these digital projectors at 4K.
There's a whole sort of snake eating its own tail kind of chicken egg, which is going to come first, where, you know, 50 gigabytes on a Blu-ray is not going to hold enough data to hold up at 4K for more than like 5 minutes.
No, but if you're going to shoot it at, say, a 25-foot screen, and you've got a really nice video processor sitting in front of that Blu-ray, or I guess the back end of the Blu-ray, it can scale it up and create those pixels that you'll need to take advantage of all that resolution. But I'm looking forward to AS 3D of some kind, especially with the passive 3D. That's where doubling the resolution will help.
Right.
But consumer 4K, I think we're at least 2 more years off for that. We'll probably see double resolution, double 1080p next year.
I'm going to call 4K at least 5 years off.
But the PC folks are itching. They can always use more pixels and more resolution. And with the new graphics cards that can do multiple displays at once and create one big desktop, those cards technically are capable of shooting a 4K signal out of them right now. So there could be some interesting stuff on the PC side of things. But I'm speculating.
Do not delay buying an HDTV because you're waiting for 4K unless you're willing to delay several years.
You get much more bang for the buck getting a nice dark black level than you would with practically internet features if you're interested in those.
Samsung 8000.
Those are good too.
Kenny writes in, Dear Robert and Patrick, hello guys, Star Wars is coming out on Blu-ray in September. Which box set are you going to get? The complete saga, the prequel trilogy, or the original trilogy? I will get all 6 films. I like the prequels and the special editions and the original versions of the original trilogy. I agree Episode 1 was not a good film, but the other 2 prequels are not that bad. Thoughts, gentlemen? Kenny in Ohio.
In case you missed our various announcements at CES, basically we had Darth Vader at CES and Patrick's various threats regarding, Greedo shooting first, Star Wars episodes 1 through, what is it? We have to 6 now.
6.
We have Blu-ray on September 27, 2010. And you can pre-order now. The 9-disc complete saga is $90, $89.99 on Amazon. That's really not a bad price.
It's like $40 off the MSRP.
Doesn't sound bad at all. No. The original trilogy and the sucktastic prequel trilogy will both cost $44.99 and include 3 discs in the box.
It's funny because I actually pre-ordered FLCL Fooly Cooley, one of my favorite animes of all time, today, and The Incredibles today for delivery in February and April. And I was looking at Star Wars, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a talk with the missus, but $20 says I'll order the stupid complete saga because it's the only way to get the extra 3 Blu-ray discs with the 30-odd hours of extensive special features, including never-before-seen deleted and alternate scenes and archives. I like special features. I enjoy them.
I so wish the original unedited, how it was originally released, the original episodes 4, 5, and 6 were somehow still available. I was just, Although I did sit down and watch the redone versions, and except for what you mentioned about Greedo, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, it's
not so bad.
The man George Lucas has a right to fiddle with his art. I mean, you know what?
Yeah, they did a South Park episode about that.
I finally realized why I'm not so pissed off about Walt Whitman changing Leaves of Grass with every edition until he died. Because you know what? The original editions were still available in print. So, I don't know.
It's a touchy subject.
Zach emails, I've been looking into Optoma's HD20 projector, and I want to take the plunge. Yes! This projector, like most out there, does not include a cable input. I'm using a Windows 7 computer with Boxy. Should I get a USB cable tuner or an external box? I cut the plug on cable, but I do want over-the-air channels. Also, will the HD20 be able to function with a window in the room? Thanks, Zach in Connecticut.
Well, there is no tuner built into the projector.
And that's pretty normal. Most projectors and a lot of HDTVs don't actually have an over-the-air tuner built in.
Digital over-the-air tuners,
right. You can basically buy like a 50, 60, 30, depending on where you're shopping, an external digital over-the-air tuner. An external USB tuner would work fine with your PC if you want to use Windows Media Center and do the DVR thing. The window will not prevent the projector from operating. However, if the window is large enough and bright enough, say Florida at noon.
If you have light actually streaming into the room where it's hitting the floor and being able to bounce off the floor up into the wall, it's going to just about wash that picture out. Outdoors in particular, forget it. But indoors, as long as you're not pointing it at that wall that's closest to where the sun's coming in, you'll get some image, but it really won't blow up and turn beautiful until after the lights go down somehow.
Yeah, so, curtains or a blind.
When the sun goes down.
Wait till, you're either only going to watch television at night or you're going to have a decent set of curtains.
That's where you have the LCD screen for that extra brightness during the day, and then you turn that off and have the screen come down in front of it, and then you'd set up the projector and go.
This is why we will never, ever reveal the location of Mr. Heron's apartment. Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Also at CES, I talked to the folks at Hauppauge about some digital mobile TV technologies, and they mentioned they've got a few new cards coming out right now that seem pretty affordable as far as receiving over-the-air signals. So give them a look up just to see what their latest product. I know they're starting to ship some of them right now, and I want to say they were in about the $40 to $60 range for some affordable digital tuner cards for either computers or USB devices for notebooks and others too.
Yeah, and Optoma, while they refuse to comment on, basically they will never talk about what's coming down the pipe, they have suggested obliquely in a distant way that they aren't replacing the HD20 anytime soon. Of course, that means a new one will come out next week after you've bought it, but you should be safe to buy the HD20.
Just keep an eye on the lamp prices, and you might need another one of those down. It depends how often you use it, but you might require a lamp replacement every couple thousand hours, or if you see anything funny happening with the picture, that's usually what's going on.
By the way, I'm actually eyeballing it's like a sub $300, I want to say, motorized projection screen from Monoprice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious
Mount it in the
deal.
ceiling, or
I'm going to
come out of the floor? That looks even cool.
Yeah. I cut the floor open in my beautiful turn-of-the-century rented home. The landlord would be pissed off about that. Hey, before Mr. Herring gets into the new releases, I want to give a shout-out to Ray, which comes out on Blu-ray this week. It was one of Universal's last HD DVD releases, and I never realized how much it lost on cable until I saw the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is stupid gorgeous. The MPEG-4 AVC has lots of room on the 50-gigabyte disc, so I couldn't find a single artifact or edge issue or anything. It is a beautiful transfer. The colors and sets in Jamie Foxx's face are so crisp, and the soundtrack is flawless. Seriously, this is a spectacular job of acting by Jamie Foxx, and it is so much better on Blu-ray than the last time I saw it all compressed on DirecTV.
Oh, I had the same moment. I was watching Apocalypto, which is visually a stunning movie, and if you've ever seen it on Blu-ray, it's jaw-dropping gorgeous.
Yes.
However, try watching that on cable or satellite sometime, and the jungle sequences, basically the last half of the movie where the main character is being chased.
It's one giant artifact.
One big blur. One big blur. Ugly blur. Oh, and no amount of video processing is going to save you there. So, doomed as doom could be.
Move on to the Blu-ray.
It is time.
The Blu-ray stuff.
It's now time for the rest of the new Blu-ray releases for the week of February 1st, 2010. Let Me In. First, there was a Swedish novel in 2004, then there was a Swedish movie in 2008, and finally, there's this American version released last year. It takes place in the 80s and tells the story of a 12-year-old boy who befriends a vampire, though he doesn't quite know what she is. It was directed by Matt Reeves, director of Cloverfield, but don't let that dissuade you from this film. It's completely different. It stars Chloe Moretz, aka Hit Girl from Kick-Ass, who does a fantastic job. Extras on this disc include unrated deleted scenes, a featurette dissecting the car crash scene step by step, a special effects featurette, a making of featurette, and a picture-in-picture track that gets even more in-depth on the making of the film. Also released this week, A Woman, a Gun, and a Noodle Shop. Back in 1984, the Coen brothers wrote and directed their first feature film, Blood Simple. 25 years later, Zhang Yimou, director of Hero, remade that film into A Woman, a Gun, and a Noodle Shop. Fast-paced and visually stunning, this film tells the story of a man who hires a hitman to kill his wife and her lover. But of course, nothing goes according to plan. This release comes in Mandarin only, no dubs available, but subtitles are of course available in English, Spanish, and French. Extras on this disc include 19 featurettes that total 2 hours, with tons of behind-the-scenes footage. Other releases include 1979's 10, An Affair to Remember, 1951's Alice in Wonderland, the 60th anniversary edition, All About Eve, Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2, Big Mama's House 1 and 2, Boys Don't Cry, 2010's Chain Letter, 2010's Conviction, The Cove as a Best Buy exclusive, the Criterion Collection's The Double Life of Veronique, Hatchet 2, Hurricane Season, Monsters, Never Let Me Go, Night Catches Us, Pleasantville, The Rules of Attraction as a Best Buy exclusive, Shopping, Still Waiting, also as a Best Buy exclusive, The Tillman Story, Welcome to the Rileys, and You've Got Mail. It's time to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace. Squarespace offers users a flexible solution for anyone looking to create a blog, personal portfolio, or any kind of website. No matter what level of coding experience you have, Squarespace can provide the tools needed to create a high-end, complex website that is uniquely your own. Don't worry if you come across any questions or issues, Squarespace also offers every user 24/7 support. Squarespace just pushed a brand new social widget tool for geolocation services. Display your most recent check-ins from Foursquare, Gowalla, and Facebook Places on a live Google map. Squarespace is the only web publishing platform with a native built-in solution for displaying your check-in data. The widget is totally customizable and fully integrated with the Squarespace Style Editor. Squarespace's iPhone app lets you publish to your blog on the go and moderate your comments. Get push notifications to approve new comments, mark existing comments as spam, reply to comments, and more, all from your iPhone. Many of the internet's highest trafficked web pages are powered by Squarespace, not to mention many of the personal pages of Revision 3 hosts and personalities. Go to www.squarespace.com/techzilla to get a 2-week free trial and learn more. Welcome to this week's Freebie Download Pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week, TCPI. If you've ever wondered exactly which programs on your PC are accessing the internet, TCPI is for you. While Windows 7 has the built-in performance monitor, TCPI has a lot more features. Right-click on any process to get a list of options including resolving the address, looking up their whois information, ending the process, and more. You can even enable sound alerts or balloon notifications to let you know when a new process has begun accessing the internet. So if you need a full-featured way to monitor those network connections, give TCPI a try.
I don't care if Apple abandoned MacWorld, we're going because you know what? We hear there's a whole bunch of products there. What did we find?
Hi, I'm Serafina, producer for TechZilla. We're here at MacWorld 2011 and I've spent all morning wandering the floor trying to find the coolest new products that work with your Apple gadgets. Let's see what we found. First up, Drive. It's cloud storage for Time Machine. It works with your existing Time Machine interface, but instead of using an external drive, you point it to Drive and all your files are encrypted and stored in the cloud, aka their storage servers. And if you want to recover your files, you can do that anywhere you have your machine and an internet connection. Currently, they have servers in Florida, but Drive plans on adding new servers across the globe. But it doesn't remove the ability to back up with an external drive also, so if you want to have your info on your own drive as well, that's not a problem. It's available now and you can get 250 gigabytes for $10 per month, but smaller packages are available as well. Find out more at dollydrive.com. From the Australian firm Sprocket comes the Launchpad. It's an iPad stand that secures your iPad in a frame, turning it into a computer kiosk. It comes in 3 varieties, the wall mount or the desktop mount, both of which cost $299, or the freestanding model, which will set you back $499. And the frames come in a variety of styles and colors, too. It's also designed to let you run a power cord through the base, so you don't have to worry about battery life. Launchpad also comes with Padlock. This free app is available separately through the iTunes Store. It locks down your iPad to a specific app, website, or document, so you don't have to worry about others sifting through your personal stuff or accessing unwanted functions. So if you've been looking for a way to transform your iPad into a kiosk, look no further than the Launchpad. You can learn more at launchpad-sprocket.com. Next up, the iStreamer from High Resolution Technologies. It's a DAC, or digital to analog converter, designed specifically for your iPhone, iPod, or iPad. Once it's plugged in, any audio coming from your device, whether it's music you have stored locally or something like Pandora or even Netflix, the audio bypasses the internal DAC and sends it to the iStreamer. It'll give you a much cleaner sound and higher fidelity than you would get otherwise, plus it gives you a way to output to your favorite speakers. It's connected via the standard USB cable with a separate one for power. The price is $199 and is available now, though their first run is currently sold out. So if you love quality audio as much as you love your Apple gadgets, put this one on your shortlist. Next up is the Neo Eye portable Pico projector from Optima. Not only is it a projector, it's also a dock for your iPhone or iPod with built-in 18-watt speakers. Plus an optional iPad connector is available. With a 50-lumen output, it'll display up to a maximum of 120-inch screen, but you would need a fairly dark room to be able to watch it that large. We saw it projecting approximately a 30-inch display in the well-lit expo hall, and it looked pretty good. It also includes HDMI, VGA, and composite-in ports, so you can hook it up to other sources than your iDevice. It's not HD, unfortunately. It will only give you WVGA resolution, or 854 by 480. So while it's not the best option for home theater, the Optima Neo Eye is a good choice if you want a good portable option, and bonus points if you store all your media on your iPod or your iPhone. It'll run $449 and it's available now. Finally, there's the iFusion from Altigen Communications. It's a different kind of iPhone dock, and this one focuses on the phone functionality. It's a Bluetooth device since the iPhone isn't designed to receive audio via their 30-pin connector, but the dock does provide power, and there's a mini USB port on the back to connect to your computer, which allows you to sync your phone at the same time. There are 5 buttons on the front, including one for Bluetooth, a speakerphone button, one to mute, and 2 to adjust the volume up or down. While we didn't get to actually test it out, we're told it processes the audio and enhances the voice quality. Plus, this works with any app on your phone, including Skype and FaceTime. The angle of the dock is designed specifically to accommodate the front-facing camera. The iFusion will come in black or white for $169 and ships in April. So overall, the Expo Hall had a lot of products that we've seen before, but there were a handful of ones that we can't wait to get our hands on. I'm Serafina here at MacWorld 2011. Let's go back to the studio.
Hey, it's time to thank one of our sponsors, Netflix. Netflix delivers movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix member, you can instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV via a Netflix-ready device like the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii console. Plus, get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Watch as many movies as you want, shipping is free, and there are never any late fees or due dates. Keep the movies as long as you like. DVDs by mail, plus instantly right to your TV. Get unlimited movies 2 ways for 1 low monthly price. As a new member and TechZilla viewer, you can get a free trial membership. Go to www.netflix.com/TechZilla and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you.
So a couple weeks ago, we had a viewer asking about setting up a web server inside their house. I suggest this wasn't a great idea. Adam emailed in. Last week, Patrick Norton said to never run Apache web server on your router. I often set up old PCs as DIY routers running Linux for friends, family, or work. I set them up with 2 NICs, blocking everything except for port 80 on the WAN-facing side. How is this any less secure than port forwarding 80 to an internal server? Plain HTML is download or read only in nature. How is it a security issue to run Apache on the same box as your firewall? Properly set up with masquerading IP tables and packet forwarding, I don't really see an issue running simple web pages on the firewall or router. I don't see how it is different than a port forward to an internal Apache box. Patrick's example was DDWRT, whereas I set up Debian Linux DIY PC with 2 NICs, Adam in California.
And
properly set up, Adam. And I think, you know, DDWRT was actually more what I was thinking of is how a lot of people are doing like remote VPN access or through their routers themselves. I'm not quite sure how DDWRT got in there, but in many cases I have seen people with improperly set up Linux installations with, you know, unupdated Apache and no configuration of security settings. Basically,
that's an open target.
That's an open target. Creating an open target that could be, you know, strange and horrible things to be done to. In your case, Adam, you are an expert. You are sophisticated. You are taking the time to harden your installation properly. And for somebody who is new to the art of Apache servers or IIS from Microsoft, is not going to be all savvy about hardening things up so they're secure from people who might use them to do weird things. That said,
the Hack 5 crew has me so paranoid about this stuff. I guess go to them. Anyway, and Marlon also disagrees with Pat, writing, running a website at home may not be the most secure way to do things, but if it isn't the end of the world if the web server crashes, it's a great way to learn. I've run mine at home for about 2 years and have learned a great deal. Routers, firewalls, backups, and backup servers, it's all part of the fun. Can someone take me out if they wanted? Well, sure. I'm not convinced, however, that paying a host would stop that. Still lots of pros to having your own server where you can actually touch it. Now, if I had more than 1,000 hits a day or had private data to worry about, I might step up to a web host. But even then, I would still have to run a Dyn DNS account to point my camera that can only be served locally. Come to think of it, security IP cameras are probably the #1 reason people use Dyn DNS. They allow users to view a live feed away from home. Signed, Marlon in Georgia.
Well, I will say, if you are creating a video feed, please make sure it's
Send me the link.
encrypted in some way. Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I didn't.
What has been seen cannot be unseen.
No, there's not enough eye bleach in the world, people. Remember that.
Yeah, that could be a scary thought. So, look. Take it with a grain of salt. I will not run a web server inside my home network. I may consider putting it, you know, on the far side of my router. But I just, you know, if you're running, I guess if you're running a server inside your network for access only inside your network, great. As soon as you expose that to the internet, I think things get complicated. Please make sure you are using firewalls and
good
have
passwords.
Security software in your local machines and good passwords.
Always. Keep pass.
If you don't know how to, you know, harden or secure your Linux installation or your Windows installation you're using to host that web server, please spend the time to learn. It will be valuable. and it will help keep you from being a bad netizen.
Or you could obfuscate with lots of fake data and hope they don't find the real good stuff. Or they might just take everything.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. Our final email comes from Refugio, who writes, "What's the best Linux OS for a newbie? I'm tired of dealing with Windows problems. My friends suggested Linux Mint." Signed, Refugio. I hope I'm saying that right. Visalia.
Yeah, but well, I've heard lots of good things recently about Linux Mint. I really like Ubuntu. It's easy to use. It's easy to install. It's well updated. It's easy to understand. I'm a big fan of Penguin Linux too. Puppy Linux. True. Excuse me, not Penguin. Puppy Linux.
I always go back to Ubuntu because if somebody's never used, if they're Windows familiar or graphic interface familiar, they usually can pick this up pretty quick.
Yeah.
The interface, installing, uninstalling apps, just general day-to-day stuff. It's fairly a similar experience. Or if they've used Mac OS X, it really reminds me of that in many ways too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, one thing to remember when you're playing around with Linux, Refugio, is that most Linux distributions, pretty much all of them you should be playing around with, are free. So download them all and try them all and see if there's one you like better than others. Do keep in mind that you will not be able to run certain programs in Linux that you can in Windows. Games, obviously, are a big one. Certain multimedia and Office applications are obviously not going to work because Linux is not Windows. But there are Linux equivalents or ways to run many Windows apps inside of Linux that are worth experimenting with. I think Linux is cool. I think the fact that it's free is great. And you could pretty much, I think, depending on your professors, get through college without paying for any Windows software if you wanted to.
And the software repositories that are a part of like an experience when you install Ubuntu, you have access to the repositories. They have software that's pre-screened even, so if you really want to lock it down only with apps that have been pre-verified, so it's less likely the system's going to do anything funny, you can go that route, or you can expand it out a little bit more, and they literally have tens of thousands of applications to try out, most at no cost. I think they're all at no cost. Technically, it has to be that way.
We like no cost. Oh, and you know what I forgot to mention before when we were talking about hosting your own router? I'm a huge fan of DIY sort of router firewall tools. IPCOP, Smoothwall, Monowall, if you're talking about different kinds of hardware. But you can take an old PC and a copy of IPCOP and build yourself an amazing, powerful router that'll keep everything in your house super secure and be a really cool learning experience.
Awesome.
Forgot to mention that before.
Awesome. As long as you can restrict traffic to your roommates, so they're not just hogging your stuff.
It's all about the throttling of traffic. Nothing worse than, let's not talk. We've actually gotten a bunch of, we need to do something on really locking down data traffic because we have a bunch of desperate college students like, there's this dude in my house who used all the bandwidth again.
Those torrent files or video streaming. That's what the big thing is now.
The cap sounds huge until you have one roommate that never leaves the house. Hey, for everybody watching, we live on your questions, so email us, techzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it, but we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them into techzilla@revision3.com.
Hey, even better, send us a video question. Yeah. Think of all the fun you can have and all the admiration of your friends and family when they see your mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, please. Upload it to YouTube and send us the link in an email with video question in the subject line. And as always, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechZilla.
And if you get a chance, please subscribe to our videos on YouTube at youtube.com/TechHD.
Hey, thanks so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Robert Heron.
Until next time, you've been watching TechZilla.
It also stars Chloe Moretz, a.k.a. Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. Moretz. Oh. It also stars Chloe Moretz, a.k.a. Zhang Yimou. Oh, Jesus. Yimou. Oh, Zhang Yimou. Yimou. Nah, that's an easy one. Yimou. Zhang Yimou. Yeah.
3. All right, so 3, 2.
Fast-paced.